Smashing, lads.
Let's do it.
So hi guys, welcome to Fad Saoil Sauna Talks. Myself is Sean, and I'm here with Claire Walsh, our new ambassador for Fad Saoil Saunas. This isn't our usual backdrop. Probably Claire's a lot more used to the 40 foot. Myself, haven't been down much, but that will change. We're now down in Wicklow, beautiful backdrop, a bit different. So Claire, if you'd like to introduce yourself, I know you can toot your own horn a little bit here, why not?
Thanks so much for having me down. My name is Claire Walsh and I'm an Irish freediver. I hold some of the national records for depth freediving at the moment. So probably one that people will recognise is holding my breath. So I hold my breath for 1 second short of 6 minutes. Every time, gets me every time.
Bohemian Rhapsody,
a
classic.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
For myself, definitely cannot hold my breath for 6 minutes. I tried the other day.
How far did you get?
I didn't time it really, but probably I'm gonna say definitely less than 2 minutes.
You got nowhere near 2 minutes.
1 minute.
Yeah.
But you have classes and stuff. You're able to train yourself.
Yeah, so obviously there's no diving or depth training at the moment, and I'm here in Ireland. I won't say stuck here in Ireland, but I am here in Ireland. So there's lots I can do in the meantime. I'm doing quite a lot of things. So it's called dry training. So it's trying to expand that breath hold, obviously dry. But in terms of keeping a connection to the water, that's why sea swimming is so important to me. Whether it's sea swimming or just dipping at the 40 foot. So at least you get your fix of the blue, and that's what we all crave.
And you're saying you're in Ireland now, so I imagine freediving has brought you to some amazing places around the world.
Yeah, I was supposed to be in Mexico in April.
Oh, really?
I was supposed to be in Egypt now. But yeah, it's brought me to some really, really fantastic places. So Egypt, the Blue Hole, being probably my favourite spot. Mexico, Tulum. I've dived in the Galapagos. That was incredible. Loads and loads of places, and hopefully it's not the end of my travelling for it either. So
and do you think,
2021.
Yeah, and do you think those places maybe are your favourite for the diving, or like when you're diving, did you say witness anything that blew your mind?
So I was in Egypt this time last year training for the World Championships, and it was just a normal day in the Blue Hole, which is lovely to have even at that. And we were on the line, and someone shouted "shark." So you expect people to panic, but we just lost it. We were so excited. So what happened was a baby hammerhead shark had.
They're safe, aren't they? Ish.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
They are safe. So it was a small one, had gotten into the Blue Hole and was kind of swimming around it looking for a way out, but it was just kind of meandering through. So we all abandoned training and just went chasing it. It was mind blowing. We were so close to it. I'd seen hammerheads in the Galapagos, but this was so near. It was fantastic.
And luckily before this interview, I watched a TED talk by a freediver called William Trubridge. Now I don't have any experience freediving, and I imagine a few people watching this probably don't. Could you maybe give a little synopsis of?
Yeah, so the first thing usually people say when I tell them I freedive, it's either, oh, so you don't pay for scuba? No, that's not freediving. And then people confuse it with jumping off cliffs, not cliff diving, I guess. So freediving is the sport of holding your breath underwater, and there's lots of different disciplines, but the ones that I like the most are the depth disciplines. So that involves the surface of the water, one breath, kicking down as far as you can and back up, one breath.
Okay, and what's the deepest you've gone, I guess?
So that's 59 meters.
You look like 59.
I know. These sixes are driving me insane. 59 meters and 5:59 is my breath hold.
Okay. And you can hold your breath for an incredibly long time, but I guess you weren't born with that. It took a lot of practice over the years. Was there something you were good at initially?
I've been asked that. I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, as a kid, I did that thing. You swam as far as you could underwater in the pool. My dad used to mess with us and throw rings in the deep end, and we'd dive down and fight each other for it. So that's kind of, I suppose, a form of freediving. But no, it's certainly, I wasn't a kid holding the breath for 3, 4, 5 minutes. I do a lot of singing, or have taught a lot of singing, and I do think that has a crossover. So having good breath support,
Yeah.
I would have good habits. So my first breath hold I did was, I remember it as 4:17. Someone else says it was 4:07.
Okay.
So I'll split the difference.
Okay.
So somewhere just
That's
past
still
4.
very impressive.
Yeah, it was a really good starting point. And I was in a class with 3 lads, I think. So it was just really competitive.
And blew them out of the water.
No, I wasn't going to be the shortest breath out there. And then kind of the more I got into the sport, actually, the less time I spent holding my breath. I kind of went back to 3 minutes. I got stuck there, and that was a really, really good exposure to how mental the sport is, how much it is about headspace and where you're at, and positive affirmations and positive self-talk. So the minute I started focusing on numbers, so saying I'm gonna get to 5 minutes, I'm gonna get to 5:30, I just got shorter and shorter. I was going to 3:30, 3:15, 3 minutes.
Keeping your mind clear seemed to help with you.
It really helped. I had to actually let go of expectations, let go of, I'm going to go for that 5 minutes. So whilst you need to be positive, you also need to, I suppose, surrender yourself to the experience so much.
Yeah, well, I heard in the TED Talk that people describe it maybe quite a freeing experience. Like when you're at like those depths, I guess it would be kind of hard to think about anything else.
So many people ask me, okay, so, how do you feel when you get down there? Are you ever afraid you'll run out of air? My answer to that is, if you're afraid you'll run out of air, you won't get down there in the first place. So to get there, you
back to
need,
the mental stuff.
Exactly. So you need to kind of align up the head space with the physical aspect of it. So if you do get down there, it means you're relaxed. There's no tension, your headspace is nice and clear. So the way up is incredible. It's so fantastic. And I think obviously I've been dry for a while now. I'm really craving it because it's such a sense of peace. You're just coming up under your own speed. Some people close their eyes, some people keep them open. I usually open my eyes on the way up, I think. So watching how the light changes, feeling yourself become more buoyant, the difference in temperature of the water on your skin. It's a really sensory journey. There you go, there's a good phrase.
And how did you, what was the, start to freediving in yourself?
Again, a little bit of competitiveness.
Yeah.
I was snorkeling with a couple of lads, and they kicked down and they went into a cave, and I thought this was the coolest thing I've seen. So I tried it, and sure, my ears stopped me. So really nonchalantly later on that evening, I presume over a beer, I asked, so hey, what was that thing you did? And they explained that it was freediving, and that they'd done a beginner's course over on an island off Honduras.
Okay. So
we were in Belize at the time. So the next day I booked a boat, a flight, a train, an automobile straight to Honduras just to give it a go. I was supposed to spend 10 days there, and I ended up spending the rest of my trip there and then going back twice more after that.
That's phenomenal. Actually, interesting you mentioned your ears there. I know when I go to some sort of depths that it's my ears which kind of hurt me in a way. Yeah, I mean, it's a pressure build up.
Really normal.
And is it a way in which you can train your ears? Same concept with your breath?
Yeah, so when you go up in a plane and you have to pump your ears, it's the same underwater.
Okay.
So the pressure of your ears means you need to equalize that pressure. So the first kind of 10 meters are the most dense pressure. So we play freedive bingo. So when there's a group of freedivers out for dinner, anytime they mention certain phrases, you either take a drink or do something. Yeah. So EQ is probably the most thing that's spoken about. So EQ stands for equalization.
Okay.
So everyone talks about their EQ. It's really boring.
Okay.
So that's what we're referring to, that ability to pop your ears.
Yeah, neutralize all the pressure.
Exactly. So as you go deeper, you need to have more relaxation, less tension to be able to do that at depth.
Have you ever come across someone, especially in your training, that couldn't unblock their ears?
Yeah, there's lots of different reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of it is tension.
Yeah.
Loads.
Do you think you're able to bypass it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of different tricks, loads of different exercises you can practice dry to get around that. When I have students that can't equalise going head first, we just switch them around and they go down on the rope with their feet first, so kind of like down on a fireman's pole.
Oh yeah.
And that usually fixes it.
Really? Cool.
And then there's lots of different exercises, some kind of hanging down off the back of a bed, all sorts of ways to try and get around
Something
it.
that I would be quite interested in,
Oh,
because
very
I know
cool.
particularly especially when you mentioned on the plane,
Yeah.
I can never unblock my ears on a
Okay.
plane.
There's different ways.
Yeah. So does it? Everyone just block your ears?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
How.
There's ways around it.
But even in terms of, you mentioned your voice coaching. Is there any other attributes that you've been able to skills or attributes you've gained through free diving that you've been able to put into other aspects of your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose this idea of wellness. I know it's really, really trendy at the moment, and we can kind of gloss over the details by using the umbrella term wellness, but it's something that's really become apparent with freediving. So to freedive, to be able to align up your body and mind, you need to meditate, practice some sort of mindful exercise, whether that's journaling or whatever that is. Look after your sleep, look after your nutrition. You really have to do those sorts of things. And I suppose previous to freediving, I've been told to do them.
Yeah.
And you're kind of, yeah. Another gin and tonic, please. Or another coffee or whatever it is. But freediving suddenly became this dangling carrot. To be able to progress, you really need to bring those things up to speed. So actually yesterday I did my first breath hold dry in a long time. It was awful. And I was kind of quite disheartened after it, and then just wrote down, okay, what have I been doing over the past few months? I've been stressed. My diet has been poor. So all those things that, we tend not to look at until it comes to some sort of crisis. Freediving has really made me so aware of them and how important it is just to chip away at wellness on a daily basis, even in little small bite sizes.
I'd say that's quite similar for a lot of people over this past period. And luckily everything's sort of some sort of normal is coming back to
Fingers
us.
crossed.
And then this coming weekend we have the sauna back.
It's so exciting. I'd say the smell in here is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty
it's
nice.
just we're both sitting here going, it's lovely.
I'm sure you've come on board with us with Fad Saoil Saunas and been an ambassador, and I'm sure you've used the sauna a lot for as recovery. Do you think it's been of major benefit for you, especially going down swimming in the 40-foot?
Yeah, and I did freeze free, so we would have used it quite a bit after that. But I think what I like most about Fad Saoil is the idea of embrace the unknown. If I didn't do that, I would never have found freediving, I would never have found freeze free, I would never have found sea swimming. I grew up in Kildare, so we don't have the sea around us. I found all my favourite things in my life right now by embracing the unknown.
Fantastic. One more question that I asked, a little bit off topic, but I kind of like to ask this thing. Especially over COVID, and you mentioned eating and everything like that. I had to eat at home a lot, and trying to specialise in trying to make our lives a little bit nicer. If you had to pick one thing for the rest of your life to eat, what would it be?
One!
Yeah, one. See, I thought about this.
Two?
Okay, 2.
Can I have 3?
Yeah.
Oh god.
You can have a side.
I don't know. I really, really love steak.
Yeah?
Steak,
Yeah.
And I also really love ice cream and cake.
You're gonna hate my answers. I'm sort of cheating. I'm gonna go burritos because there's so many different aspects.
You had time to think about
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A good steak. I think you can't.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. It's not popular in vegetarians, but there we have it.
Well, Claire, I think it's been an
Thanks so
absolute pleasure, and hope to see everyone this weekend.
I can't wait.
And turn off Fad Saoil.
Fad Saoil.
Happy days.
Boom.
Woo!